All right, hello everyone. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Doing a quick audio visual check. Want to make sure you can hear me, please. Quick audio visual check. All right, thank you, David, Bo, KO, Jay, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Give me 1 second here. I've got to make a couple of adjustments here on my monitor and bring up my slides. Let's see here. All right, give me 1 moment, please. All right, gang, you should be able to see the slide, hidden forces that generate explosive gains in any market. Do me another quick favor, type a 1 in the chat if you can see that, and if my audio is loud and clear. All right, lots of 1s coming in. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. We're a couple minutes past the hour, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So if you are here to see hidden forces that generate explosive gains in the market, you are in the right place. So let's give me about 30 seconds here. And I know some folks are still getting in, so I'm going to pause for 1 moment here. Go ahead and get something to drink, get relaxed, get cozy, and we'll go ahead and get started in about 30 or 40 seconds. All right, I am back. Robert, I had muted just for a moment there while we're getting situated. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. First off, my name is Silas Peters. I'm the founder, head trader, seasonal swing trader. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to attend this presentation or this workshop. I truly believe that you are in a treat. You are in for a treat. If you've ever been on a call like this before, it may be a little bit different from what you've experienced, because I really want to help you walk away with something that you can begin applying today. In fact, we are talking about immediately. But before we get started, we must always take a quick moment to read this from our friends at the regulatory governing bodies that our attorneys and governing bodies require us to share. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results or a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. Only risk capital should be used to trade. You can lose money in trading. So case in point here, short version is don't trade with your milk money, your mortgage money, your rent money, your child's educational funds. You can lose money in trading. So while you are reading that, tell me where you're from. Where is everybody tuning into and from the world? I am in LA or Lower Alabama on the Gulf of Mexico, not in Southern Cal. Where is everybody tuning in from? So we've got Georgia. Is that the state or the country? We've got Kalamazoo, Clearwater, Dallas, Vegas, Minnesota. I just got back from Minnesota yesterday. That was a very long trip. Houston, UK, North Cal, Melbourne, welcome. Arizona, another Arizona. Quebec, awesome. Okay, I just like to see where everybody's from. I don't even know what time it is in most of these locations, but I do want to be respectful of your time. So let's go ahead and get started. So on to the good stuff. My goal for this presentation is pretty simple. If you're a new trader looking for a simpler way, or a more experienced trader looking for a better way, or if you're looking for a more profitable and predictable way, then you are on the right call, because I have you covered. In fact, I have a present or a promise for you. What is my promise? Well, you're about to see how you can start experiencing explosive gains within your trades, all by paying attention to and trading in conjunction with the hidden forces that drive the markets. How explosive are we talking? Well, that number will vary a lot, but in one of the case studies I'm going to share with you, we're going to talk about a trade that increased by nearly 42.5%. Now, I know that may not sound like much. You're probably used to seeing join me for 1,000% winners, 2,000% winners, but this trade equated to nearly $20,000 per contract. I shared it with members of my community, and several of them took action and did very well with it. And I found it all by using the strategy I'm teaching you today. But I want you to stop and think for a minute. Can you imagine what it would be like to experience that kind of trading success yourself? To not just clear several $1,000s on one trade, but to be able to see those kinds of gains on a regular basis. What would it mean for your family? What about others? What would they say, your friends, colleagues, that things are changing for you, that you're doing it yourself and not relying on a broker? How would it feel? Would they respect you more? Would they look at you differently? Can you imagine what that would feel like? These are trades that can literally change your lifestyle. So that's why this presentation is so important, because I truly do believe that what you're about to learn is going to help move you forward towards achieving that goal. So now's the time you want to shut everything down, remove all distractions. It means closing browser tabs, logging out of Facebook, putting your phone on mute. We're going to be together for about 60 minutes or so, and we are recording. But as always, I cannot guarantee that there will be a replay. So I want to make sure that you listen closely and take good notes. So that being said, let me properly introduce myself once again. My name is Silas Peters. I'm a proud husband, also father to these beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauties on the right. And in front, in this photo, we're standing in front of my alma mater at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So 3 days after I graduated the UA, I moved to the great city of Chicago, the old Windy City. 3 days after I graduated, I sold my car, packed up all my belongings, and that's where I cut my teeth in the commodity markets working at the Chicago Board of Trade. And here where I was really bitten by the trading bug and never looked back. So while there, I helped run a global trading desk, placing and managing books of trades across the Americas, Asian, European sessions, working with large block order flow for hedge funds, banks, CTAs, large force spec traders, and the like. Also been a part of building and managing several futures and equity brokerage firms, managing operations, trading, back office, sales, and support. I've also worked as a private family office investment consultant. I hold or have held these various futures and securities licenses. And then in 2016, I launched Seasonal Swing Trader. But it wasn't always easy. In fact, there was a learning curve, several obstacles and hurdles on the path to where I am today. First step was obviously learning. School does not teach real life experience in the markets. In the beginning, I made some money. In fact, I made a substantial amount of money. Was I lucky? I like to not think that I was, but ignorance and greed cost me my profits. I blew up an account and then several others in what I like to call revenge trading. I'm sure some of you can attest to that. I finally settled down, went back to my roots, found my process, and found overall consistency. But after all that time working as a broker, trading for others, and now educating and supporting traders like yourself, make no mistake, I firmly believe that you can see success as a trader. But you're going to need two things to make that happen. You're going to need a strategy to follow, nothing too complex, or you won't even bother with it, and you need to take action. It really is just that simple. But let me ask you an important question. Are you done? Are you done struggling and ready to experience some success and growth in your portfolio? Are you done spending hours upon hours analyzing charts but never taking action? Are you done subscribing to dozens of expensive newsletters, promising some hidden secret but never having the time to read them all? So let me see where you are here in the comments. Is everybody done and ready for a solution that actually works? So I will see a lot of yeses. course, absolutely. That's good, because if you're here, you're willing to take time out of your schedule to come listen to me talk. I have a feeling that you are looking for a different way, an easier way than what you've been doing before. I mean, am I right? Absolutely. So that's what we're going to be covering today, the easier way. And it's understanding that there are hidden forces in the market. And when you learn how to leverage them, you can see some darn near explosive gains. And again, this strategy will work in any market, whether you trade stocks, Forex, options, futures, ETFs, or more. So during this workshop, we're going to focus in on 3 big ideas that I want you to pay attention to, because when you get these, it should help you get to smooth sailing. First one is the hidden in plain sight pattern most traders miss and how you can benefit from those immediately. Next, I want you to clearly understand what data you must focus on and what you can ignore so you can trade in confidence. And then finally, I'm going to show you a way that will shorten the time you spend analyzing charts, all by utilizing a simple 3-point strategy. So forget about all the other noise. We're going to keep it straightforward and simple. So let's dive in and talk about the hidden in plain sight pattern most traders miss and how you can benefit from those immediately. So what are these hidden forces in the market? Simply put, they are historical data patterns, also known as cyclical or seasonal markets, which have been scientifically proven to beat out every other traditional investment strategy. It's true, a recent study analyzed over 200 years of data across 68 markets where they reviewed the returns on several different investment strategies. Trading off of seasonality outperformed all other strategies and it outperformed the others by a long shot. So it's hard to beat 200 years of proof. So let's get into what these cyclical patterns actually are. Now, a market can be classified as seasonal when it has a unique or specific demand during different times of the year. Cyclical markets follow the general trajectory of the economy or are based on weather or planting seasons. A few other not so obvious factors that influence repeatable behavior include tax seasons and fiscal policies set by world governments, and as well as the movement of large amounts of capital by institutions, banks, hedge funds, and the like. But the most common denominator is that all of these markets and patterns are repeatable. They happen over and over again like waves crashing on a shore. The key is knowing when that wave is coming in and then learning how to ride it. So let's look at some familiar examples. When do you think the price of Walmart is going to rally? Right after Thanksgiving. Why? Because there's so many Christmas sales that take place at that time. In fact, one of the very best trades you'll ever hear is to buy Walmart about 2 days before Thanksgiving and to sell 3 or 4 days later. Year after year, Walmart has always rallied at that time, and it makes perfect sense. In fact, most retail stocks will rally because of Christmas sales that start on Black Friday right after Thanksgiving. Here's another example. Wheat is harvested in the fall, and people barbecue more pork and beef in the summer. So what do you think that does to the price of those commodities? They tend to rise. What about Coca-Cola? Everybody's familiar with Coca-Cola Classic, or KO. Also rallies more in the summer than in the winter because people drink more Coke in the summer months. So whatever your market is, you can locate its seasonal pattern. In fact, if you want to know the best time to buy or sell your favorite markets, you must know its seasonal pattern. And here's some proof. KO rallying in a methodical and predictable fashion, following its cyclical season patterns over and over again. So let's take a look at the case study I mentioned in the beginning so you can see exactly what I'm referring to. Here you can see a weekly chart of crude oil on a continuous contract basis. This chart dates all the way back to 2001. Notice all the little green circles on the chart. That's where I've highlighted these cyclical patterns that we're talking about. And you can see for the past 18 years, from December 2001 to December 2019, crude oil has followed the same cyclical or seasonal pattern, which is driven by supply and demand. So it's pretty clear that crude oil, just like most energy stocks or other energy futures markets, classify as a seasonal or cyclical market. Now, here's why this matters. So unlike what you may hear on the news from the talking heads or so some called expert, the demand for crude remains relatively stable throughout the year. However, it really starts to pick up as we enter the new year. So to meet the upcoming demand of that time period, distributors will begin to stockpile supplies as early as January. So while refineries are shutting down briefly to prepare their supply, their doing so usually leads to an immediate boost in prices until those facilities are back in full operation, which is the cause of these explosive price moves we see on this chart. But enough about the fundamentals. Let's get into the trading opportunity here and how it can benefit you. Now, we know this is a consistent, predictable pattern that has held true for the last 18 years. Does that mean it's going to work this year or next year or the year after? No, nothing is guaranteed in life and certainly not in trading. Nobody can predict the future. However, this is a high probability pattern and it would be a smart trade to make. And I can guarantee you, I wait for this setup every year. And the good thing is that it's only one market. So if our goal was to simply try to stay on the winning side when we trade, making trades following historical and seasonal cycles that have proven themselves again and again is not only logical, it's just plain smart. So you may be wondering, what would you have pocketed from this trade? Well, that all depends on what instrument you were trading, how many contracts, your account size, where you exited, or how you manage risk. But the point is, did you know where the trend was likely headed? Did it get and keep you on the right side of the market? But to give you an idea here, crude oil, with each contract, it represents 1,000 barrels. Each tick or minimum move is worth a penny per barrel or $10 per contract. So a full point movement equates to $1 per barrel or $1,000 per contract. So think of a move from $38 to $39, it's $1,000. A move from $40 to $45, that's $5 or $5,000 per contract. That's a very reasonable movement in crude. So you can see that each of these four moves here on the chart were worth roughly $14,000 to $15,000 per contract traded. And similar moves have repeated themselves over the last 18 years. So with opportunities like that, doesn't it make sense to trade with the trend, to follow historical data and cyclical patterns with your trades? I would say yes, it does. So have you spotted that seasonal pattern? You could have traded the following: USO, UCO, SCO, crude futures, mini crude, options, other energy related ETFs and stocks. You don't have to trade crude oil futures or crude futures options. There's a multitude of energy markets very similar to this that you could have traded. And again, this is only one market. So you may be thinking, Silas, that sounds great, but it's easy for you because you know how to read those charts and what to look for. What do I need to focus on in order to find these patterns? That brings us to our second big idea of the workshop, and that's understanding what data you must focus on and what you can ignore so you can continue to trade in confidence. Let's be honest here for a minute. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of techniques or so-called quick fixes, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed and not know where to start. So before we consider what we need to focus on, let's address what you need to ignore. Popular but completely unreliable sources of trading information include talking heads, planetary movements, market wizards, and of course, annoying neighbors. We're not really going to trust Ned Flanders with our family's financial future, are we? Of course not. So the first step is cut out the unnecessary noise. Then I want you to memorize and follow the focus formula. What the heck is the focus formula, you ask? Well, very simply put, it's X plus Y plus Z equals consistent profits. It's all the information you need to succeed in the markets. So what is the focus formula? Let's talk about the first part, and that is historical data. And that's just looking at the past in order to see the future. So the key things you want to pay attention to are the time of year, dates on a calendar, what the stock, commodity, currency has done over the last 5, 10, 15 plus years, and global events that may be affecting the underlying. And that couldn't be more true in this current market environment. So from that information, you're going to be able to start recognizing trends and patterns. So we've talked about looking at historical data and looking at the past to predict the future. You can shave years off of your research process when you are aware of these unique calendar windows. You probably heard it before, the Santa Claus rally, sell may go and wait, first 5 days indicator. Knowing the specific times of these calendar windows, when to be long, when to be short, or perhaps where to be flat, give you a huge edge in the market. You immediately have an edge over your Main Street buy and hold financial advisor, which I can tell you you're probably overpaying. You can also compare that with sectors, using the same logic to figure out why the top performing sectors typically outperform the S&P 500 over the course of a year. Are you familiar with the term sector rotation? You can bet you know what the top institutional money managers, hedge funds, and pension funds do. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, of inflows and outflows at specific times of the year across these markets. Because stocks, as they always do, follow money flows, and they fluctuate in ways that echo the past. Industries, why do you think real estate stocks thrive at specific times of the year? Or airline stocks? What about energy-related stocks, home builder stocks? Your brain should be spinning now, but in a good way, an almost aha moment. Because we, like the market, move in cycles, or predictable cycles, month after month, year after year. Now leads us to the last group, commodities, which in my opinion have even greater seasonal tendencies, because these are markets that are tangible, physically consumed, grown, planted, harvested, and are dependent on the worldwide supply and demand at various times of the year. What about some examples? Well, cocoa in February, gold in December, grains in the summer. And so that leads us to the next part, which is technical analysis. Because let me be honest, using seasonality alone to make investment decisions is not recommended. Is it powerful? Does it perform better than other strategies? Yes, we've already proved that. But I want you to look at seasonality as a useful analytical tool and use it in conjunction with fundamentals and technical analysis. So we know that when we look for seasonal or these cyclical patterns, we're looking for these that have tended to display a 75 to 80% win rate. We also like to trade technical patterns that display the same batting average, 75 to 85% win rate. We're talking time-tested seasonal patterns combined with time-tested technical patterns. That's really about it. Because we know that our chances of choosing a profitable seasonal trade are greatly enhanced when both of those methods of analysis are combined. Is my sound still good? Just want to do a quick audio check. I had an internet connection cut out. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Thank you. So let's talk about some of these high probability technical patterns. Guys, this is technical analysis 101, but let's talk about these that occur over and over again, regardless of the market or time frame. So the head and shoulders, top and bottom patterns. This is an example of a head and shoulders top on cocoa futures. Left shoulder, neck, head, neck, right shoulder. And we know with this pattern, displays a 75 to 85% win rate. We know that we're looking to get short on breaks of the neckline. What about 1, 2, 3 tops and 1, 2, 3 bottoms? If you followed me for any amount of time, you know this is one of my bread and butter strategies. They occur more frequently than head and shoulders tops and bottoms. And this is what it looks like. Here's the same cocoa chart. We have a 1, 2, 3 bottom. And we know as a 1, 2, 3 bottom trader, we're looking to get long on breaks above the number 2, or this line right here. And you can see that in a head and shoulders top, you'll also have a 1, 2, 3 top. 1, 2, 3. And we're looking to get short on breaks below that neckline or that number 2 level. What about double tops and double bottoms? Very familiar with most of you, I'm sure. Here's a weekly chart of DEER or DE. Double top, it's pretty self-explanatory. We got top and a top, hence a double top, and we get short on breaks below the V line. And then pennants, triangles, and wedges. Here's the same weekly chart of DEER. We can see that we have this triangle or pennant or wedge, or whatever you want to call it, and the confirmation of entries on a break above that trend line. So hopefully you're beginning to see the power that when these high probability patterns align with high probability historical price cycles, we have a very high probability trade setup. That brings us to the third part of the focus formula, and that's good old-fashioned common sense. Common sense would tell you not to randomly buy or sell a market just because of a date on a calendar. Common sense that says that while pizza stocks may be affected by the Super Bowl, you don't go bet the family farm on Papa John's stock every February 1st. We must wait for the market to confirm that the seasonal move is actually underway based on what the chart and the market is telling us. And that's why I came up with the focus formula. Because after spending years analyzing, researching, trading the markets, I found that the closest thing to the ever elusive Holy Grail is to use plain and simple common sense in our approach to trading. There are about as many indicators in the marketplace as there are cryptocurrencies. And you know what? Most of them are worthless. What you need is a high probability historical pattern confirmed by a high probability technical pattern paired with a level head of common sense. Those three things are the perfect marriage in trading and will help set you up for success in your approach. So here it is again, the secret formula. Write it down, tape it to your forehead. Historical data plus technical analysis plus common sense equals consistent profits. All of the information you need. So you may be thinking now, that sounds great, but how can I find those setups quickly? Trust me, I hear you. Nobody likes to spend all day stuck behind their screen, or most of us don't. That brings us to the conclusion of the presentation, and that's how you can shorten the amount of time you can spend analyzing your charts. So now that you have your strategy in place, and now that you're ready to take action, what next? How do we even begin scouring through years or even decades of stocks, futures, currencies, data, patterns, cycles? Well, what if there was a push button solution? Literally a scan and go function that could lay out years of historical data on a silver platter. So type a 5 in the chat box if you'd like to have that opportunity. I'm taking a swig of water here. Hello, type a 5 in the chat if you'd like to see that opportunity. All right, good. A lot of 5s coming in, excellent. So when I say a push button solution, that's not a lie. I'm talking about literally a push button solution that delivers the following. A symbol. What about a bias? Pretty important. Do we want to be a buyer, seller? What about a suggested entry date and a suggested exit date? That would dang sure be helpful. Everything that provides the framework for a daily process. That's precisely what we did. We developed a scanner, and it's called the Smart Market Scanner. We created one for smart stocks, smart futures, and smart forex. This allows technology to do the heavy lifting for us. So rather than manually looking through decades and decades of data trying to spot these patterns, we now have a tool that searches historical trends and patterns for us and locates these setups that meet a certain criteria of success. So whether you trade stocks, futures, or forex, ETFs, options, or commodities, there is now a push button solution. So how do we do it? Let's walk through the process together. So we have a tool that allows you to choose all of this key relevant information you need, like which month, which symbol you wish to see the trend for, as well as how often the trend should win or perhaps lose if you're looking to the bear side. Do you only want to see bullish setups, bearish setups, maybe even both? How long do you want the seasonal trend to last? What is your time frame? A minimum of 7 days, 10 days, but no more than 20, 30, 40? You click search button, and what would take years to deliver is now done in seconds. You're not only limited to just the symbol, an entry date, and exit date. In fact, there's enough data there to create an entire computer model. But as I said, I like to keep things simple. Let me show you how I use it, and we're going to go through this key information together. So who wants to dive in and see how this works? All right, what I'm going to do now is bring up the scanners. And give me 1 second, please. All right, so, and I know I'm asking for your participation a lot, but I want to just make sure you can see the scanners. So here is Smart Forex. Here is Smart Futures. And here is Smart Stocks. So somebody do me a favor, let me know that you can see the software. I've had an instance at one point where I tried to show these and my screens froze and it was a giant mess. I just want to make sure you can see the software. I appreciate your feedback. All right, so let's talk about and try to put together the pieces that we were just talking about. So this is what's called the home screen. And all of these are going to work very similar. This is the one for stocks, obviously. This is the one for futures, and this is the one for Forex. So we go back to stocks. Everywhere that you see these fields, these are areas that you can manipulate or alter the data, edit the data to find the criteria that works for you based on what you want to see. You know, but everybody's different. Everybody's got different time frames, different knowledge, education, risk levels, all that good stuff. You already know that. You're a trader. But let's talk about each and every one of these. We'll talk about this very quickly. So here we can look for trends by month. As you can see here, right now we're going all the way out to March of 2021. Or you could look by symbol. So you can see that we've got all these symbols here. And once we choose that data, we can say, hey, we want to find trends that have won at least 90%, maybe 70, maybe 85, doesn't really matter. Again, what you want to see. If you are only focused on the long side, say, hey, I don't like to short the market, I only want to trade to the long side, well, you change it to bullish. If you wanted to look at bearish, you feeling a little froggy, a little bearish on the market, then change it to bearish. I like to use both because I like to be unbiased and look at both sides. Now, depending on what kind of trader you are, if you only say maybe hold for a week, you could trade weekly options, or weekly markets that last at least 2 days, but no more than 7. Or in this example I've got here, that lasts at least 10, but no more than 40. Those are kind of my default settings. And that we want to find trades that have at least 7 years of history. I recommend, 5 years or greater. And the more you go out, the less search results that you're going to find. All right, so based on this criteria, you hit search now. And after we hit search now, based on these parameters, you can see that yielded 528 results. That's a lot of symbols. So if you find that too much for your liking, then all you got to do is bump these up a little bit and increase the winning percent and maybe more years of data, and you can find less. It all depends, but there's some really nice trades at the 70% or less, but it's going to give you more. So then what happens? Well, we get our results, and it's all pretty self-explanatory. All of these columns here, the score, 5 being the highest probability scoring metric, with 0.01 being the lowest scoring metric. Doesn't mean that these are bad trades. It's just based on proprietary scoring metrics. All of these columns are sortable. So if you want to say search by trend, bullish or bearish, you can click the trend. If you want to sort by there we go, my screen was frozen for a second. If you want to sort by symbol, you can do that. Company, start date, win percent, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the score, and then we can see all we got to do is scroll over. We see the win percent, the number of years that, remember we said 7 years or greater, so we're going to see 7 or greater. Average profit in percent terms, dollar terms, risk reward, average daily profit, biggest profit, average drawdown, number of trading days, total wins, historical profit in dollars, so on and so forth. So you can see all this data here, okay? And now let's talk about these other tables. So if we click on this, this is our equity curve. This simply means that if we had taken this trade every year based on the suggested entry date and exited every year based on the suggested exit date, this is what our equity curve would look like. It's upward sloping. That's what we want to see, right? And that's based on $1,000 allocation. Now this is, you can edit this too. We'll get to that in the next step. You could put in a $5,000 allocation. You could put in based on 100 shares. It's all editable, and we'll get to that here momentarily. Here is just a table, a profit or loss table. Think of it as a candlestick. So the high of the wick being the max profit or gain during the life of the trade, the low of the wick being your max drawdown during the life of the trade, and then of course where you ended up, and this was 100% profitable. If we go to the pie chart, this is your risk reward graph. The more green you see, the more high probability trade setup this is. And then here's a year by year breakdown going back to 2013, showing you a complete breakdown: begin price, begin date, begin price, and date end price, your max drawdown, and your final closeout. Okay. Now, let's say that, you know, we look through all 500 of these or whatever, and we like these first 5 for whatever reason. What we can do next is hit add to step 2. We hit add to step 2, and then we can go to the portfolio tab. Notice that the portfolio tab has added whichever markets we selected to our own custom portfolio. Once we get into here, these are where we get into other areas that we can start to, again, further analyze. So here is where we can run this against a neural network, where it's a proprietary neural network scanner running through a multitude of scenarios based on historical and current market conditions, both from a technical and fundamental perspective. And then we can run that, and it's going to give you a high probability all the way to a low probability trade. And you can see that here's where we can put in a hypothetical account balance, or maybe it's a live account, where it may be a taxable account, an IRA, a 401k, rollover, trust account. And if you want to allocate, say, 5% per trade, that's where that $1,000 came in. Or maybe you only want to say, let's do this based on 100 shares. You can do that. And then where our neural network, we can boil it down even further. Do we want to run this on a conservative setting, a moderate setting, or an aggressive setting? And you can see what all that means down here in the risk tolerance preferences. Now, I'm not going to calculate this because it will take a little bit of time, and I don't want it to bog down our systems and our presentation. Now, what you can also do is, for trades that have occurred in the past, which would be these two right here on Kimco and UNH, you can double click on them to see how they're currently performing, or how they have performed in the past. So we double click on that, and you can see this was the suggested entry date right here at what is this, 12 bucks or so, and traded up to 16. Same thing for UNH. This is the suggested entry date, and we're trading up here around 300. Now, we're not going to see that on other markets that have not yet confirmed. So let's say that we do run our neural network scanner, and we come back and say, this is high probability, this is high probability, this is low probability, and maybe this is high probability, and this is low probability. So we like maybe this one, and this one. What we can now do is add these to trade alerts, which is this button right here. We go to add trade alerts, and that builds our custom trade alert for us. So what this means is that we can now create a custom alert service that will be sent to you via either via email or SMS text. So we can basically shut this down once we've done our analysis and have alerts sent to us on autopilot. And we set up alerts, whether you want it sent via email or SMS, it's either one or the other. And these will be sent to you. It's going to say, basically, hey, we have a new alert on Kimco or UNH or Charter Communications, and you can have these sent to you, the day of, the day before, 3 days before, 5 days before, and so on. Now, these scans right here were based on the S&P 500, but you have a multitude of other indices and ETFs that you can also scan. So if you're only interested in scanning or looking for financial stocks, you can select financial, and you can see there's 301 in financial. If you wanted to look in technology, there's 296. If you wanted to look at ETFs, there's 479 ETFs. And then back to the S&P, which is of course S&P 500. Okay, so you can also create your own custom group, and so that means you can go through, select all these markets, and create your own customized watch list. Okay, so that's basically how it works in a nutshell. You see how I was able to describe that in about 3 minutes or 5 minutes? It's not complicated. So let's go back to our slides here. So once we find a potential trade, what do we do? Well, of course, we could go and just blindly go buy the market or go sell the market. But what we prefer to do is to drill into the chart. So on this past example, we found that example in TDG. It was a bias to the long side. Suggested intraday was May 20. And when we look at a daily chart, we can see that the market or TDG was trading in a consolidated fashion, range bound, in between the 50 and 100-day average. Could you have gone long? Sure you could have, but I like to wait for extra confirmation. So we get this breakout here. Once we break out of the box or this channel back above the 50, that's where we get long. We can buy the stock, we can buy call options, we can sell put spreads, whatever your flavor or style of trading is. Now, here is an example going back into seeing how that did, which is what we already showed you. Here's another example on MAC. We found this bearish setup in MAC, called for a short on or around May 10. We look at our year-by-year profit table. We like what we see. We go to the chart. You can see that the trend is down below the 200, 150, but the market's kind of trading a little counter trend. I love it when it's trading counter trend when I spot a seasonal trade, because that means I can hop in usually at a better trade price. So here we trade right into the 50, put in a bearish reversal candle. That's where we hop into the short side. We sell the stock, we buy put options, we sell call spreads, again, whatever your style or method of trading is. Here's an example on futures. Got a bullish setup in cocoa, called for a long on or around June 3rd, 2019. We looked at the year-by-year profit table, 86% win rate. We go to the chart, just like that trade on MAC, right? We're above the 200, 150. The trend is up, but we're trading counter trend. I love it. I just sit like a tiger waiting to pounce. And the market comes in, puts in this large bullish reversal candle or pin bar here, whatever you want to call it. We get the confirmation of follow through. We buy cocoa futures. We buy NIB, the ETF that tracks cocoa. We buy call options, sell put spreads. And then one last case study here on Forex. Found a bullish setup in the pound yen. Calls for a long on around 9.8. Close date of around 9.19, 86% win rate. We look at the year-by-year table. Notice that we have this large loss here in 2016. If my recollection serves me correctly, my memory serves me correctly, that was around the Brexit noise, so we probably would have been out of it anyway. So we like the trade setup. We're trading into the 50, which is a little concerning. but then we put in a bullish candle, the buyers step in, we break above, and notice that the suggested exit date was around 919, which is right here. That's basically the top of this move, and we turn around and roll over to the downside, just exactly as the software predicted. So let's recap what we've covered so far. You were introduced to the powerful practice of using historical data to guide your trading behaviors. You've also learned about the focus formula, what is literally my holy grail of trading, to understand what data you must focus on and what data you can ignore. And you also saw several different ways you can shorten the amount of time you spend analyzing charts, all while finding hundreds of high probability setups that you can take action on. And now you can literally have access to the same set of tools that I use on a daily basis. So with that being said, we are pleased to introduce to you the Smart Market Scanner Premium Package. Smart Market Scanner is your time-saving solution to finding hundreds of high probability setups in only a few minutes each day. And I've been able to put together a very special offer so that you have everything you need to take action on what you just learned. So let me share with you what you'd be receiving in this package. First off is the Smart Seasonal Software Bundle. There are actually 3 separate scanners in the bundle, one for stocks, one for futures, and one for Forex. And yes, this is the exact same software you just saw me demonstrate during the workshop. You'll have the exact same level of access to the tool that I do. As you saw, it's going to help you identify seasonal trends that can be identified at a glance with a click of a button, all by pulling from decades upon decades of data. I mean, it doesn't get any more time saving than that. Now, as you've seen, it offers very detailed statistics showing you your optimal entry, optimal exit, duration, holding time, only the most important information you need to make your decisions. And it does the math for you, calculates the projected profit, projected drawdown, as well as your average daily profit, gain, loss, and so forth. All of the key metrics. How else can you use it? You can check for counter seasonal pullback trades. So I don't blindly buy or sell on an exact date. I watch for counter moves, as I just showed you. Also helps you spot market bias, letting you mix and match short-term trades versus longer-term position trades using multiple time frame analysis. And as I said earlier, I use it for options trading. That's what I do. If you see a high probability seasonal sell setup, I buy put options. I sell call credit spreads. If I see a high probability bullish trade, I buy call options, sell put spreads. And then with the futures and Forex markets, you can trade the minis, micros, ETFs. The sky is truly the limit. And you can even set up custom alerts for more efficient trading. But let me ask you a question. Now that you've seen several different ways that you can shorten the amount of time researching these trades, how would you like to get access to this software scanner? So I went into the lab because I had members and students clamoring for something like this, to build something like this. Hell, I even wanted something like this, a simple push button solution that would hand me high probability trades on a virtual silver platter, spoon feeding me like a baby. So if you'd like to see this opportunity, do me a favor, type something in the chat, show your enthusiasm, show me you're alive, and I'm going to show you just that. So I did mention that letting technology do the heavy lifting is one method to speed up your historical research. And you have seen that with the power of the Smart Market Scanner. And I'm going to answer all of your questions. But in addition to having your own software scanner, what if you had even more analysis, including actionable trade alerts sent to you via email and SMS text? So in addition to the powerful seasonality software 3-pack, what if we also included full access to Seasonal Swing Trader Pro trade alerts? This is where we cover 35 plus commodity futures markets, 35 plus currencies and Forex markets, and 100, if not 1,000 plus stocks, ETFs, and indices. We include 10 plus trade ideas per week, include all of the relevant data, entry, exit dates, projected historical move, average win percent, stop, entry, target, all sent via email and SMS text. To give you a better idea of what a service like this can do, here are some examples. As I said, this is, you're given everything: symbol, price, entry, exit dates, duration for all asset classes, ETFs, futures, Forex, all trading account sizes, types and styles, all by using the methods described throughout this presentation: seasonality plus technical analysis. Send this out every weekend so you can prep for the week ahead. I do a full video analysis every week detailing each setup, what to watch for and why. And again, you've got to determine how you trade. I can't tell you to buy the stock or buy a call option or sell this put spread. You have to determine how you trade. I don't know who is an option trader or what your education or risk levels are, but you cannot let that be an excuse, because you could trade this in a multitude of ways. Let's look at some very recent trade examples that our members and students have just used. This is an example of stamps.com. We call this out using a combination of seasonal and technical data. This moved over $27 a share. We are still short this market. We are long WB, Weibo Corporation's moved over $5. You see this area right here where my mouse is? That's where we got long. We did it based on technical and seasonal analysis. We just took profits in sugar, SB, sugar futures. We got long here based on seasonal and technical data. This moved over 110 points, or over about $1,230 per contract. And the Swiss franc. Here is a market that we've been watching. We kept it on our watch list. It actually went out on one of the Sundays that I just mentioned, what to watch for and why. This has moved over 200 ticks, and that is times $12.50. That is over $2,500 per contract. You could trade at the Forex market, okay? All of our members have been able to take and capitalize on each of these. This is not hindsight. So here are some unsolicited testimonials. I don't ask for these. They come in all the time. I'm very humbled and grateful that people are actually taking action with symbols. They're not just paying for a service and just reading it and having it go to the wayside. They're actually using it and making some money. So if you'd like to have access to the same tools, resources, and ideas that these and several hundred other members enjoy, then I suggest you take advantage of a very special offer I have in store for you today. It's called the Smart Market Scanner Premium Package. And I want to recap everything that is included in this special deal so there are no questions unanswered. Smart Market Scanner Premium Package, you're going to get access to all three of the software program bundles: Smart Stocks, Smart Futures, and Smart Forex, as well as multiple training videos and strategy guides, 12 months of access to all three software programs and the additional training. It's valued at $596. You're also going to be given annual access to the SST Pro Trade Alert service. With this service, you're going to be alerted to high probability setups via both email and SMS text, as well as be given access to a trade tracker Google Doc to keep track of all trades and scans. In this service, I analyze over 100, if not 1,000 plus stocks and ETFs, 35 plus commodity markets, 35 currency markets. The real-time retail value for 12 months access is $1,167. And these are examples of real trade alerts that are sent via email and SMS text, just so you can get a flavor of what you're going to get access to across stocks, options, ETFs, futures, and Forex. Next, you're going to be receiving monthly member sessions where you can ask me questions directly live in the call. We run through scans, we look at charts, we discuss upcoming seasonality plays, both short and long-term opportunities, different strategies. These sessions are all recorded and archived and placed in the members portal for your viewing convenience 24 hours a day. The 12 monthly sessions are valued at $2,388. Also going to be providing exclusive members only scan updates and additional training videos showing you exactly what data I'm researching and why. These scan updates are provided every week. So as part of this package, you're going to be receiving 52 Additional current trainings, these weekly updates are valued at $3,900. So that's everything. All $8,052 worth of software, training, and member exclusive bonuses valued at $8,052. But I also want to include some additional bonuses. The first is my chart pattern principle course. It's a 90+ page PDF guide with additional strategies, patterns, seasonal trends, setups, and much, much more. It's valued at $297 by itself. I'm also going to include my 25 top option strategy guide. This is helpful for those that are just dipping their toes into the world of options, as well as those that are more seasoned. Strategies for all skill levels, whether basic calls and puts to more intermediate advanced, such as calendars, condors, verticals, butterflies, and more. It's valued at $147. And for serious fast action takers, I've got one more special bonus, and that's VIP email support. So just so you know, I handle all of my own support. I do have a team, but I read and answer all the questions that come in. So obviously this is not something I can give away to everyone. It's the closest thing I can offer to direct access to me, which is why VIP email support is only available for the first 25 people. That brings us to the total value of the Smart Market Scanner Premium Package to $8,893. Let me ask you this. If all it did was help you improve your record to generate more wins and losses, what would that be worth to you? If all this did was allow you to unsubscribe to other tools and newsletters that you aren't even using, what would that be worth to you? If all it did was help you place 1 to 2 winning trades, what would that be worth to you? I'm obviously not going to charge you $8,893, even though we both agree that would be a fair price after looking at the software and the past trades the service has delivered. I'm not even going to show you or charge half of that because I don't want cost to be a barrier to your success. You already seen what this software can do, the probability of the alert service, how much time it will save you. Even just one profitable trade is likely to cover the entire cost of your small investment, which is why today, as part of a special discount price, I'm offering you a discounted price of $797. It's an annual price, $797. I'm going to put this link into the chat for you. It's seasonalswingtrader.com/scan. And yes, I'm going to answer all of your questions, and we're going to look at the members area to see exactly what you're going to get. We're going to look at the scanner, and we'll actually take a look at some real current live markets, show you what I'm watching now that you can make a short list for. All right. So here's the complete offer again. You're gonna get Smart Market Scanner Premium for 12 months, SST Pro Alert Service for 12 months, monthly members only session, weekly scan updates and videos, chart pattern principle course, 25 top option strategy guide, VIP email support. The offer is seasonalswingtrader.com/scan. And I see lots of questions coming in. Thank you, but I'm gonna get through the rest of this and we'll go answer everybody. So what all do you get? You get training, and more training. You get 13 training videos broken down into bite-sized chicken McNuggets, plus a printable, I think it's a 40 or 50 page plus PDF manual, plus the monthly member bonus session. So these little video sessions are literally 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes long. We don't bore you with 40, 50 hour-long sessions. We don't need it. It's not that complicated. Here are the bonuses with a couple of unannounced that you'll be getting inside the members area once you sign up. And then again, let's just recap with the process. We use the scanner to find what month or what symbol we should be looking at or trading. What is our winning percent? What is our risk? Does it match our personal criteria? Do we want to be looking at bullish trades, bearish trades, or perhaps even both? What is our time frame? Again, what works best for our situation? We hit the scan button, find our results, and we locate our trades. All right, here's the full premium package again. It's seasonalswingtrader.com/scan. And let me get to the chat box here. Give me one moment. right. Okay. What platforms does it work with? Well, this is an independent platform. It's a great question. It's totally independent. It's not married or attached to any platform, whether you use TradeStation, Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, Sierra. It doesn't matter. This is a separate, independent of any platform. Ned, you don't need any data feed. The data feed is built into the software. There's no extra fee for it. There's no extra fee. No, you do not have to have the scanner running. You do not have to have the scanner running. Again, you can pull it up, you know, whether it's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day. You can then even set up your trade alerts. And then you can shut it down for a week if you only want to look at it one day a week. Saju, it does scan on Forex pairs right here. We do have a smart Forex scanner, absolutely. How accurate is the system? Well, it depends on what market you're looking at. You can see how accurate it is right here. We've got everything based on 100% accurate down to 90, because I only did scans for 90% or greater. If you only look for 70% or greater, it's going to show you accuracy rates of 70% or greater. It's history. History doesn't lie. Stan, it's not married or attached to any charting platforms or any brokerage firm. And I may have answered that when I was answering somebody else. Yes, this is the special G. Robert, how long does it take you to get to the training? Probably knock it out in about 30 minutes, to be honest. I'll show you what it looks like. Let's see here. Bring that over. Oops, let's see. All right, so this is the members area. Here are your downloads: Smart Stocks, Smart Futures, Smart Forex. It's just a very simple one-click download process. Here's your user guide or training manual. And then here are your training videos. And again, they take, 2 to 3 minutes probably on average. So if we say 3 minutes and there's 13, it's about 40 minutes. But it's all very easy. It's just breaking down each component of the scanner. And then here's our monthly, here's your bonuses, monthly member sessions, and more. Remember, you also get access to SST Pro. So to access that, you'll see SST Pro right here, and you'll click on SST Pro. I apologize that this is taking so long. The computer's a little sluggish right now. So you have access to this members area as well. There's other additional resources and bonuses. Here's where you can sign up for SMS text alerts, how to get into our Discord room, our open close trade ideas here's what we send out each week right here. All of that data that we talked about, as well as, as well as an archive. So you can go back to see the last rolling 3 months of history there. Okay. All right, let me scroll up. Will it give you strike prices? No, it does not give you strike prices. It would be awesome if it did, but everybody is different, There's so many different variables when it comes to options, weekly options, monthly options, strikes, premiums, deltas. So no, it does not give you strikes. This is not a one-time fee. This is an annual fee. Does not auto renew. We send you a friendly reminder as we approach the end of the time period. We don't like any kind of hidden renewals or shenanigans like that. We'll give you an update so you're not surprised. Yes, you can use it for weekly options, certainly. You can download the PDF manual to your desktop. I'm pretty confident in that. If not, just message me, but I'm pretty sure you can. Can we help set up? We can. I don't think that you'll need help setting up. Again, you just download the software, and there's may ask you to install a piece like a JavaScript type thing, and add that if you're prompted. But other than that, you'll have the icons there on your computer. Only trade equities, not interested in forex. That's fine. You don't have to download the forex platform. You can just trade the download the stocks, smart stocks, but you have access to all three. So no harm in downloading all three if you wish. How does news like COVID affect the scanner? Well, I mean, it's like what we talked about in the presentation, you know, being aware. It's kind of the common sense factor, being aware of current happenings, current market environment, you know, whether it's, you know, Chinese trade wars or COVID or some type of other pandemic or a hurricane, or, you know, Iran decides to bomb somebody in the middle of the night, or we had some type of bunch of government or election political nonsense news things going on that can move the markets, which, you know, we certainly have had. I'm not going to get political, but yeah, those can of course alter the course of an historical pattern. But you look at the probability, look at the historical odds, and be cognizant of those things. So, you know, we can't always predict everything, but if you know that we're coming into an FOMC announcement, or we're coming into maybe an election, which there's going to be some serious volatility, that will of course affect things. But, you know, over time, it's a long-term game. And over time, as you can see, that the odds will shake out in your favor. It's certainly not an anomaly. We can't do that, Nurball, because we don't really offer a trial once you have that software downloaded. It's kind of there. We're just not built. It's not built for the trials. But I don't see. You know, you've seen kind of firsthand how it works. And I would say either you like what you see or you don't. And I don't mean that to come out wrong way, but you know, you either can tell that, hey, this is a tool that I can use in my trading, or perhaps it's not. If you want to add high probability seasonality to your trading, then this is a tool that will probably work for you. If you don't see the value or the benefit of seasonality and technical analysis, then it may not be for you. And I'll show you some trade setups that we're looking at right now. Awesome. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Yeah, reach out if you have any questions. It's support@seasonalswingtrader.com. support@seasonalswingtrader.com. If you have any other questions, or if I missed anything, look here. Yeah, if you have the like boot camp thing that's compatible with Windows, you can put it on Mac. So the alerts, they can come from the scanner if you choose to set them up. We've got, you know, members and students that will set these up, and then they have those come to them. But then with the SST Pro piece, that's where I will send additional alerts out based on what I'm finding. They could be within the scanner, they could be outside of the scanner. And we recently added a Discord channel where it's a hub that people can come in and post charts, analysis, you know, thoughts, ideas, things like that. Because as you can see, you know, there are a lot of results, and it's impossible to look at every one of those every day. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's probably not fun or something you want to do. But we issued, I think we issued 4 or 5 trade ideas today. And I'll be happy to show you a few things on my radar. Let me just down here. KP, I may have answered this. So there's no trade room, but we do have that Discord room. We have that Discord room where we post charts and analysis, and you know, really it's open 24/7. You know, I'm not in there just every second, you know, typing what some movement on a tick chart. It's not really what this is based on. But yeah, certainly as things pop up, we'll post ideas in there. All right, so a couple of markets that I'm looking at. Let's see, since I'm on a commodity watch list, I want to look at cocoa. So I'm watching cocoa here for a potential buy. Also looking at coffee. Remember, there are ETFs for most of these markets. Some of them fairly liquid, some of them not so liquid, so you just have to be aware of that. Always be aware of these kinds of things. Don't go market, especially if you're trading options on them. Some of them can be very illiquid. You'll get hosed by the market makers. But if you have questions like that, you can reach out to me. Hey, what's the ETF for copper? What's the ETF for corn? You can reach out to me, although we have plenty of guides and things like that, and I'll be happy to help you. Or hey, you know, I'm thinking about this or that. I love communicating with you and getting your feedback and thoughts and all that good. It's all about helping each other out. Let's see what we got here. What else? Oh, nat gas. This is one we're also looking at. Now we have a high probability seasonal trade to the short side, and we also have a high probability technical pattern, and we're looking for a move back down to this area. Watching this 200-day closely right here and a couple of other levels, but we do have enough room to for a nice potential short trade there on old natty gas. What else am I looking at? Gold. So I'm looking at gold, and so this is one that went out. Let's see, did this? Okay, I had another scan on gold that I must have done. Okay, this one right here on August gold, and I'm looking for a bearish trade setup on August gold, and I calls for a short on around 622, which is yesterday. But as I did in my weekly analysis, is, you know, hold up. We're not just going crazy and getting long here. I've had this channel marked for a long time, and it's actually, we're having kind of a bullish breakout scenario. So we had a head and shoulders top right here, which was suggested a move about down to this level, which is a very nice level. Very nice level to look to take profits from $16.95 down to $15.70, so a little over $100 a contract. But sometimes they trade counter trend, you know. Sometimes they trade counter trend, and that's why we say, hey, just sit on your hands, wait patiently, and let's watch. Couple of equity markets that I'm looking at from a seasonal and technical standpoints are Pfizer. to the long side. So I've got a couple levels that I'm watching right here for potential trade to the upside. Bouncing at this area is what I'm being cautious for and what I'm watching. Let's see, HSBC is another one. I'm not a perma bear or uber bear, but I just don't want to get too leveraged to the long side. But there are some short-term trades. We actually took this trade in our membership, one that you have gotten access to as well. We actually got long up here and had a nice little pop. Some short ideas that we are eyeballing. I'm not saying we are short right now because we're not. I'm looking at a few here from both a seasonal and technical perspective. It's all about being patient, exercising patience. This was on Tractor Supply Company, watching low for a high probability seasonal setup to the downside. I've not gotten my confirmation of entries yet, but you have access to all of this as well. So I'm looking at KMB, Kimberly-Clark, another one that calls for a potential short around the corner. Rejected my area of price structure there. So I'm just giving you some kind of thoughts on my process. It's not complicated. It's not complicated, and we talk about this in our monthly member session. We go through these scans together. I show you exactly what I'm looking at and why, and key levels to watch, set price alerts, and that way we try to automate it as much as we can, right? So we don't have to be glued to the monitor. We can be on the golf course, we can be at the beach, we can be planting tulips, whatever it is you like to do, and get your alert sent to you to your phone or your email, and then you can go and take action. This is not a scalping service. Yeah, if you do purchase now, you can delay when you start, so that's totally fine. Robin, you can purchase now and just shoot me an email, and I will and the date you'd like to start, we'll be happy to work with you there. How frequent are the alerts? Well, that all just depends on how much action you want. You can find alerts every day. You can find alerts every day. Through the month of June, there's over 500 there based just on that criteria. If you dial this back down to 80 or 70%, you might have 700, 800, maybe 1,000 different possible scenarios. And then each week I send out a 10+ trade update. So I cover 10 markets every week. Try to do it on Sunday, early Monday before the markets, so you can have access to that. And then throughout the week, I may send out 2 alerts. I may send 5. I may send 10. Probably not going to send 10, but it all depends on what the market. I don't force anything unless I tell you that, hey, I kind of want to get aggressive here. But I've been around long enough that trying to force things is not usually a good thing to do. All right, lost my question box. Let me find that. All right, cool. Thank you, Stan. Oh yeah, let me look at MCD. The bottom indicator is RSI. It's just RSI. I like to trade divergence as well. So let's look at old Mickey D's here, and you can see I've already been looking at it. And what we want to do is we'll just plug in MCD. Uh-oh, computer is frozen. There we go. All right, so let's look at McDonald's. So would you say McDonald's is in a uptrend or downtrend? May need to shut this down. not playing nice with my all the stuff I've got going on. Uptrend. All right, I'm gonna reopen that 1 second here. All right, I'm reopening my stocks platform. All right, so we want to look at Mickey D's. See if that works a little bit better this time. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So coming back to Mickey D's. So it looks like we've got a next trade on or around 7.6 with an end date of around 7/21. And said that there you agree it's in an uptrend. Let's kind of dial in here to a weekly clear uptrend. You know, we had this kind of swoosh down there in the March COVID conundrum, if you will. And let's go back to the daily. So you can then analyze this however you want. You know, if you want to just sit there and wait for 7.6 and see what it does, that's what I would do. But if you apply anything else, whatever you may whatever your personal settings or rules are, you may go ahead and kind of take a look at it beforehand. You know, set these to come to you 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days beforehand, so you can kind of you can get, you can prepare yourself. So it looks like we've recently come off, probably, I'm going to say that's a 618 or 786 rejection, and 786 rejection. And now we're kind of back below that 200 days. So I personally rather see us get back up above. It looks a little indecisive for me. So what I would do, if we think we are on an uptrend, which I would say higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and we could do something. And again, I'm not, you don't have to be a Fibonacci guru, but maybe set some price alerts here around the 382, which is $173. And important price structure, you can see that's where we keyed off to the next leg at that area in the past. So I like to say, okay, we may not get, I'll set a price alert here, but in case we don't pull back and get down to this area, where else would I be interested in getting long? Maybe if we take out these highs, so I might set a price alert there. So it's a pretty large range, but that is a way I might play it in addition to looking at that specific date. So we said 7/6. So we've got kind of three things. We got three alerts. We got price alerts, 1, 2, and then we have a date alert. And then that will bring our attention back to the chart. That helps. Not much, Kay, but you'll get a lot more trade ideas. You get a lot more trade ideas with each of these. All right, I'm just looking here. You're welcome, Richard. Yeah, you can load on multiple computers. We will grant you an extra second additional license key. Just let us know that you would like to say, add it to your laptop or your desktop, and we'll give you an extra license key. We don't really just make a world announcement about that, but we'll be happy to do that. So you can just email me at support@seasonalswingtrader. You're welcome. We'll look forward to working with you as well. All right, guys, I think I've run a little past time here. We're about 30 minutes past the hour. So We're going to wrap this up. If there's anything else that you can think of later on today or tomorrow, feel free to shoot an email to me. Again, I am a human being. I'll look at it, read it, and answer you personally. And I look forward to everybody that's joined. I appreciate it. And I think we'll enjoy this together. It's all about trying to help each other, extract profits from the markets together. And I look forward to seeing all of the new members. I think you'll be pleasantly pleased, and that is the end goal. So thanks again for taking your time out of your day, your schedule. I know everybody's busy, lots of things going on. And so with that further ado, that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So thanks again. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Take care. Good luck in trading, and hope to see you soon.